Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we begin, please subscribe. It helps me more. It helps me out more than you would think. I really appreciate all of my subscribers, and it also helps you know when we have new videos because it notifies you. For this video, we're going to be doing a winter scene, and I'm doing mine on Slate, which is why mine is already painted white, just to give me that background, and we'll go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my blue, and I'm going to also put purple on my paintbrush. And you're going to see on my paintbrush that I have purple, and you're going to see the blue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the outside corners, and I am going to mix it on my palette, and I'm going to go through the sides into the corners. I'm going to also paint the sides. Okay, so now that we got our corners, I'm gonna do the same thing, except I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it as well. Just like that. And I'm going to do the sides up here. And you're going to grab the same amount, just a little bit less of the colors. We're going to add a little bit more white. And I'm going to get the sides. Okay, so now that we have that, now I'm going to grab even more white, a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple, and I'm going to go around the corners. We're going to add it, and I'm going to lightly touch it, and you're going to start seeing the streaks. See how you see the lines? That's because I'm lightly touching it. I want all those colors to be shown. And now for the center, I'm going to have even more. So I'm going to add even more white. Ooh, a little red got into that by accident. That's okay. And we want to have more white in the corner. So I'm going to fill in all these holes. This is harder on Slate, just because there's all those crevices. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add white. I'm going to barely just have white on there. I'm going to have it on the tips of my paintbrush. And I'm just going to add the white. Add more white into the corner until we get to the moon. I think I want to add slightly more purple. Okay, so now we're going to let that dry up there. So while that dries up there, we're gonna do the ground, and the ground is gonna be low here. We're gonna put a little bit of white. And it's okay if you pick up the colors underneath because we're gonna want it to have the same colors. So we're gonna paint the sides. I like that it's at light blue because it's still wet underneath. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And we're gonna have this piece of land on top of that one. So this is gonna have a whiter top to make it look like this mound is in the background. See, so we're gonna do that. Now we're gonna paint our trees. So I'm gonna take a smaller paintbrush, maybe about this big. Oh, this one's a little dry. I don't know if this one will work, but we can try it. And I'm gonna start with the top of that one. So I always like to do this part, sometimes upside down, but just for this one, I'm gonna try to do it upright. And this tree is gonna go here, and we're gonna have it, I'm just going to start painting lines, just like that. Oh, yeah, this one's a little bit too dry. Oh, can't use that one either. Let's see if I could try to wet this one. Do lines upwards. A lot of people think that the trees would be going downwards, but they actually look a lot fuller if you do it having the lines going upwards instead of pointing down. Sideways a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back slightly. I'm going to add a slightly little bit of blue as a highlight. I'm going to do the same thing. Put a little bit more white into that. I don't want it to be too blue. Okay, now we're going to go over it again with the white. And that will kind of give it more of a 3D effect. I'm going to take my snow. I'm going to add a little bit of paint. I'm just going to add a little bit of blue. I'm going to add a little bit of purple too. Blue and purple. And we're just going to lightly put it here just for a little bit of shadowing for the trees. Just like that. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my skinny paintbrush I'm going to add my white. For the snowman's base. Do his middle and top. Now I'm going to lightly put a little bit of blue in it. I'm going to have the blue go towards the left a little bit. So you have a little bit too much blue. It's okay, we can go back and fix that. So I'm going to add a little bit more white. That should help. I'm going to go back and add a little bit more white to the right side. And that's going to help the snowman look more 3D. Now I'm going to take my tiny, tiny little paintbrush and I'm going to add black. I'm going to add his hat, like if he's looking up. I'm going to add his buttons. I'm going to add his eyes. I do have to fix that a little bit because my paint went over a little bit. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of white. I'm going to put it right between his eyes to separate it. And I might actually have to get rid of that one eye. That's okay. I'm going to take a little bit of my orange. And a little bit of my brown. I'm going to give him arms. Nose, I have to start from the center and work out to get that point. Alright, that looks a little bit better. I'll take that black now. We'll do that second eye over here. That looks much better. And there you have it, our little snowman scene, a winter scene.